What's going on, guys? Steve Pulaski back with another review, this time of Monster Trucks, and now featuring a new La La Land poster behind me. Anyway, though, Monster Trucks, a film I've been looking forward to for longer than I care to admit. This was originally going to come out back in 2015. It was even slated at one point to come out on Christmas Day of 2015. But this movie's been coming out back and forth and whatnot. It's been delayed, I think, 6 times now. And even it made headlines a couple months ago. Paramount, the studio that distributes it, declared the film a $115 million write-down. Basically meaning that they already cut their losses from this movie. They don't expect to make money from it. They predict it's going to be a big bomb. But why did they spend $115 million on something that has, no pre-existing property, and then just to take a write-down on it, 2 years later is a mystery to me. Whatever, we're not going to get into it. This film does not deserve the public scrutiny that it's gotten or it is prepared to get. I really enjoyed this film. If you're looking for an energetic romp that's family-friendly, got good humor, but it's not too stupid with it, in addition to having some good action sequences and just a pretty interesting premise, you shouldn't look any further than Monster Trucks. This is surprisingly the first great film of 2017. The film stars Lucas Till, who plays Trip. He's this kid, a young kid who works at a scrapyard, and he finds this giant, gelatinous, iridescent monster one day in his junkyard that winds up crawling into his truck and making the truck run, because the truck doesn't have an engine. So he's baffled by the presence of this monster until he realizes, him and his friend, played by Jane Levy, who was in Don't Breathe. You probably remember her the most. She was in Don't Breathe and the Evil Dead remake. The two of them wind up finding out that the oil company in their town is responsible for this. They've been trying to dig underneath the land, deep underneath the land, to find this ocean of oil, and they wind up stumbling upon this family of monsters that wind up escaping. So the oil company's trying to get rid of these monsters and mute their presence so they can continue drilling. Meanwhile, Trip and his friend, they're trying to find a way to bring the monster back to the family, the monster they nicknamed Creech. But this is a ridiculously fun movie. I was really surprised by how much I got into this. I mean, if you want to look at it, me, pretentious English major, if you want to look at it as like a metaphor for fracking or a metaphor for oil drilling and America's dependency on, fossil fuels, go right ahead. I think that there's actually a good case to be made. But I mean, as far as a movie that, is family friendly without being too immature and, action packed without being too incoherent or loud, this is really a remarkable movie in that respect. I mean, there's a lot of good supporting actors in it too. Thomas Lennon from Reno 911 has a pretty cool appearance. Frank Whaley, one of my favorite character actors, he has a very minor role, but he's good in it. He plays Trip's father, Trip's estranged father. He's very good in it too. There's a lot to enjoy about this movie. It's a movie that constantly moves. It's energetic without being frantic. There's a big difference. And I honestly think this is probably going to be one of the only decent family-friendly movies that we get this year. I just had to sit through trailers like Despicable Me 3, the Emoji Movie, God forbid. I'll be reviewing that back in August, or coming in August. You can look forward to that one. But I think aside from this and Lego Batman, there's not going to be a lot of good kids movies. So take what you can get. But I really see, the theater I was in, surprisingly packed for a matinee. It was really pleasant to see kids laughing and enjoying it, but parents were laughing too. This was a strange experience for me. I thought people were really not going to enjoy this movie, or I was going to be the only one in the theater, but I hope that people at least see this movie, give it a chance. It's a fun movie. Not much more to say. It's entertaining. All those people that always tell me, Steve, you never enjoy movies as entertainment. You always look at them through this critical lens and critique every little thing. Monster Trucks is compelling entertainment. 3 out of 4 stars, a B on Influx Magazine's great. Hope you read my review. You can check it out in the link below or on Influx Magazine.